Hey, how you all going?
Hello.
It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with crank.com and with that metalstation.com. And today I'm getting to have another chat with Matt almost a year after. Matt Hanchuck from Thrash Metal Machine, Wreck-Defy. We've been busy. As I spoke last time, he was brought out an album every year. He's not failing that. He's got 2 this year. He's done a We Got You Covered EP, which dropped August 27th, and a new album coming out towards the end of the year, The World Enslaved, which is the 4th album for Wreck-Defy. Comes out through Gator Records and Sub-Level Records December 1st. Cheers for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me, Jai. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's been one of those years, man. It's good to see you rolling along and things going really, really well for you, man. How's the year been for you, man? I know it's been crazy with fucking everything that's going on in the world, but musically, man, you must have been busy as usual.
Yeah, you know what, Jai? Just for you, brother. Just for you, because I adore your show and I think you do a lot of good for the Australian metal scene. And I think I'm going to stay straight to the topic of music on this show. No politics, no bullshit, just music. So when you ask me a question, I'm not going to deviate from the topic of music. The last year and a bit, it's on music, on a musical level. It's been killer, man. Like you hit on already, the new record drops December 1st through Gator Records and through Sub-Level Records. Sub-Levels through the digital platforms, and that's my buddy Cragen's label from Heathen, and actually filled in for Exodus when Gary was with Slayer there for a while too. Anyway, yeah, Cragen he's dropping all our stuff on the digital platform December 1st, and it'll become available on CD and vinyl through Gator Records out of Switzerland. The covers tunes, yeah, we released 4 cover songs there on, I think it was, would you say 27th of August, was it?
Yeah, August 27th.
27th. So yeah, we did, you know, what we did was I had this crazy idea of doing a covers record, and you know, it's everyone and their brother's done a covers album, right? Like I think even Kiss did some cover stuff, right? Everyone does covers. And I was like, well, how can I make this special? So what we did was we just focused on Canadian artists, strictly Canadian artists. Some of the songs were like a little bit painful to immerse into and try to like imagine some sort of a metal platform for that song, because there's still, I mean, we're marketed as a thrash band, right? So covering a song like Everybody's Working for the Weekend by Loverboy, right? Which is essentially a pop song, right? A great song, by the way, a killer song, but it's not at all a thrash song. Well, believe it or not, it was actually kind of fun turning those into thrash anthems. That was a lot of fun. That was almost as fun as writing and creating music, because you had to like stay true to the original, but at the same time you had to rectify it a little bit. And you had to put your little twist on it to make sure it still kind of transcended the Loverboy fans and reached your, you know, the metal purists, if you will. You know what I mean? And not be shat upon merely because of what the song was in its original format. But yeah, you know what, there's a lot of people, the feedback's been really cool on those covers. We did Run to You by Bryan Adams, the Loverboy one.
Yep. First one was Little Bones by the Tragically Hip, and it had David White of Heathen on there as well, man. When I seen that, I'm like, dude, that's bloody cool, man.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, man. I went and yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, dude. I even went, like you sent some stuff over to me, but I even went over. I'm one of those that'll even go over. I bought it off Bandcamp as well, and
awesome. Killer, brother. Yeah, thank you.
You know, because it's really cool. How did that work? Tell us first about that first track, Little Bones. There, tell us a little bit about that, and David White coming with the guest vocals, and yeah, go with that.
Yeah, I mean, the Tragically Hip is like like on a level of notoriety. They're like, you know, they're up there with Bryan Adams in terms of like Canadian, like, you know, they're like the Wayne Gretzky of like radio rock in that era. You know, every Canuck in the world knows the Hip. You know, I got to be honest, and I'll be honest on your show, I am not a big Hip fan. I am not a big Tragically Hip fan.
I'd never heard of them either, so it was good. I got to go check it out. I'm like, I've got to go have a look.
Yeah, and so you know what, that song, like there's an era that they had, which was like, I want to say like 88 to 91 or something, the Tragically Hip, And they did do some really cool stuff. Like try New Orleans is Sinking. I don't know if you know that song. It's killer. It sounds like something like Kenny Wayne Shepherd would have did or something. It's got a real good bluesy groove to it. But anyway, that Little Bones was like kind of an upbeat song. It had more of a rock structure to it. So it was an easier one to transition into like a metal song. So, and the idea, sorry, I guess I didn't finish what I was saying with regards to picking songs to do this. I ended up picking 13 tracks. We released 4. We recorded 7. So we got half of them done. And the idea is to release another EP, probably like early winter, and then maybe one more in the spring. And then the whole thing will come out on like a vinyl compilation eventually. So and here's the thing, we would have had more release, but every song's got a different singer on it. So logistically, I mean, you're at the mercy of when these guys can like come and do their recordings and stuff, right? Because a lot of these guys are doing this as a favor, and it's like different parts of the world, different paths, different careers. Henning from Firewind, Henning Basse, right? Yeah. Henning did our version of Born to Be Wild, as you know. I mean, Henning is one of the most prolific singers on the planet. That guy's always working on something. He's always working and collaborating with something or someone. And actually, he's so happy with how that track turned out that he's been busting my nuts steady in our messenger. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. So I'll probably end up doing something else with Henning for sure. The guy's game and he's awesome. So maybe something a little more like a little more shiny with the vocals next time for Henning. Maybe like April Wine or something really cool, where he can really sink his teeth into it and show everybody what he can do vocally. I mean, that as far as I'm concerned, no one sings Born to Be Wild like Henning, but there's so much more he can do. People that don't know his voice, and that guy's like all those guys. I mean, Dave White, it's fucking Stu Block, man.
Yeah, like, really? Stu Block.
Guy's like a vocal acrobatist,
Yeah, man. He's got. It must be fun for you to work with all these great artists and musicians as well. It must really be fun, but also drive you as well.
You know what? It's super humbling, and the just the fact that I keep getting phone calls.
Okay, there we go. You're at just the fact that
they're calling me through Messenger. I don't have service here, like telephone service. Yeah, so my messenger thing keeps going off, and it's like I got to keep shutting it off. Someone else is trying to message me. Call me through.
It must have been good to be able to kind of pay homage to your home country as well, doing these covers as well. So the best place to get this album is over on Bandcamp, I believe, is it? Or have you got a website as well? We can get that at too.
The cover stuff.
Yeah, the cover stuff. People want to go check that out.
Yeah, it's on Spotify and everything now.
Yeah. You listen on Spotify, but if you like the album, go buy it, people.
Buy it from Bandcamp. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Also, records, man. Records. Where's the best place we can buy merch and your records and everything like that for you guys?
Well, Gator Records. Actually, online. Records? Yeah, Gator Records directly. They do like promo packs with like CDs and woven patches and T-shirts, and they got all kinds of stuff on their page, their merch page. Yeah, they have some cool Wreck-Defy hoodies. Hey, if anyone wants to buy me one, I'll wear it. I promise, I'll wear it.
Yeah, man, it was really good to see with your last album, Powers That Be. Like that went really well, and you had the vinyl, and they were selling out really good. That must have been good for you as well, to when you dropped that album, to see that positive feedback and to kind of grow even more.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still really happy with that record. Like, some of the hooks and melodies that Aaron and I were able to come up with on that, I think, were just really a bit different from what a lot of other thrash bands were doing, and I think it gave us a little more of uniqueness to our sound. Not that we've reinvented the wheel; it's just that we really worked on harmonies and stuff. Like, that's one thing about the Wreck-Defy stuff is I'm never going to omit melodies or harmonies or just some sort of vocal passage that kind of hugs you, because as angry and malicious as the music can sound, there's no reason to omit a hook. I don't want to be heavy for the sake of heaviness. There still has to be a song wrapped up in there somewhere. At least that's the approach, right? For us, not for everybody. Not for Slayer, not for everybody, but for us, there's got to be some form of melody in there at one point. So working with Aaron was great. The new singer, Wags. Yeah. As great of a record as Powers That Be is, I think a lot of people are going to really appreciate the World Enslaved. It's got more of just a streamlined thrash metal approach. There is a thrash metal love song on there. I swear to God. It's called I Share Your Grave. And it's like the first ever thrash metal ballad. Sincerely, I can't think of another band like that's done a thrash metal love song.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to that one as well. And the track people can check out Crushing the Coward, which I'll tell you a little bit about, is one of the first single, I believe, off the album.
Right. Promo. It's just a promo, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not an official release from the band. Gator put that out as a promo. Yeah, that song's more of like a power metal song. I don't know if I'd have picked that as a lead out track.
Yep.
I don't know. It's certainly not a filler track, but it's not the top of the tracks on the record. It doesn't. Okay. It's more of it's like bottom third.
Yeah. It's like the hors d'oeuvre before the main meal.
Yeah, you know what? I wrote the song. I'm not going to sit here and shit on it, but that's it. Yeah, but it's not. It shouldn't have been the lead off promo, my opinion.
Yeah.
There's a few other ones that are real face melters on there
that you would have gone with first.
Really, some real heavy stuff, like real heavy stuff that's like hasn't been done on other Wreck-Defy albums in terms of the I don't know. It's just real heavy, man. It's just real angry shit, you know.
Yep. It was good to hear though, Wags there on vocals, and he kind of getting a little bit of his vocal style as well going forward. I know it's not the face melter you were talking about you wanted there, but it is a cool track, and it does have a good message to it as well, you know, which all your music does. It's always got some, you know, you do give it some thought in the lyrics and the vocals and the messages you do portray in your songs as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know what? And that's one of the big things that I tried to focus on the new record, The World Enslaved, was a lot of the lyrics. The last record, Powers That Be, was a little bit too vitriolic. I found, like, reading back on it, because I don't really listen to these records like you might think. Like, once I'm done with it, I don't throw it on my vinyl. I'll throw one of these on, you know. But I don't throw my shit on to listen to. So, but once in a while, we'll throw it on, and I'll go through the record and I'll follow the lyrics like a fan, you know. And I think the last one, I laugh at it because it's like, what were you so pissed off about? Like a lot of the vitriol and venom directed towards government is like, I think it's more of a catharsis thing. And there's a parallel though with my experiences in the military and then my experiences with law enforcement.
Yeah.
I just have a different perception on the government because I've worked for them in some capacity for the last 2 decades. So I know how full of shit they are, and I know how misleading they can be to a naive public, right? And it's like, it's not like I feel like it's a duty or anything, but it's like, it just feels cathartic to speak about things that bother you, right? But on The World Enslaved, I specifically went a different direction with the lyrics. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still some parallels to, you know, anti-government shit, but I went deeper this time. I went deeper. Like, there's a song called Fashionably Offended, and you kind of the lyrics are pretty much, well, the title kind of spells itself. Just everyone's offended by everything. People pick in their skin, man, right? And that's what this song, you know, Fashionably Offended. It's like, I wish I could rhyme the lyrics off to you, but I probably should. You probably get deleted forever. You'd probably be banned, censored.
That's all right. I haven't got any censors. I'm all good.
But yeah, it was more of instead of just going on a blanket attack on the government, which I think is getting old with some of the lyrical content from Wreck-Defy. You know, it's not that it's not relevant. It's just I want to find other things to write about. I find like, okay, I'm going to get off topic real quick with you. Yeah. I got another band called Gutter Creek.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. Nah, yeah, I do, man. Yeah. I do, but I want to talk about that a little too.
The Gutter Creek drops on the 31st of January, also through Gator. They enjoyed it enough to sign us for that as well. And the lyrics on that have no common ground with Wreck-Defy. It's a complete departure, both musically and lyrically, on purpose, right? It's more about the human condition, like about feelings and emotions. Nothing like no, don't read into that. But it's like, you know, like just a different perspective on misery, darkness, like depression, stuff like that. And then also like love and happiness. But at the same time, it's like, it's more about yourself as opposed to pointing out other things about other people. Like with the Wreck-Defy thing, there's a lot of this going on. With the Gutter Creek, there's more of this going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Especially from like a spiritual perspective. Like there's a lot of interpersonal, a lot of thought went into the Gutter Creek stuff, and I'm proud of that stuff too, man. It's not, I listen to so much different music, like I'm all over the map, man. I
get that.
I got everything from David Wilcox to ZZ Top, the fucking violence going on between, like, and that would be the what do you call it? What do you call it? One after another. What do you call it? The sequence of records too. It would be like that, and then you throw a Judas Priest on and DRI, and I'm all over the map with music. So like to have a different outlet from the Wreck-Defy thing was really cool, because those songs were still genuine from the heart, like that. That shit was written, I want to say 2 years ago, before it was recorded.
Okay.
And I never thought for sure if it was ever going to come to fruition as a record, because I wasn't sure what to do with it. And then buddies that I played with in Winnipeg, when I used to live in Winnipeg, I reached out to them. Well, Justin sang on the first Wreck-Defy album.
Yep.
Yeah. So I asked Justin if he wanted to play bass for the Gutter Creek stuff, and he was game. And then Derek Kroll from Alpha Kill, Justin's other thrash band, became the drummer for Gutter Creek. And that was it, man. And
is he in another band, Derek? Sorry there, Matt. Is Derek in another band as well? Is he in
Derek is a drumming whore.
Oh no, man. He's also in
he'll play with anyone.
Votov, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Votov.
Because I did get to chat with Derek once before.
You know what Votov, you know how Votov reads backwards?
Votov. Must have fun with it. Some people you could probably just get their cogs going like, wait, man. Is this some joke or something? No, I got me, man.
Oh my god.
3 coffees in this morning. I'm still ticking.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
it's probably, what is it, almost.
That must be fun for you though, like having these musical outlets as well. And I can see that, with your service and everything you've done, music's probably been a huge support as well, and something you've probably always escaped to. So it's good to have those cathartic outlets and also those different projects you can express yourself in.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I just enjoy it. The older I get, it's like the more I have to play and say. I don't know. It's weird. In fact, you're gonna laugh at me. I just finished tracking all the tracks for the 5th Wreck-Defy album,
wow.
all the songs.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Juan earlier today through Messenger, and October 2nd, Dave goes in to do his drum tracks for the 5th Wreck-Defy album.
Oh wow, yeah, because I remember I spoke to you last year and you were working on this album that's coming out now, The World Enslaved. You were like, you're gonna laugh at me, but I'm already working on the next one, dude.
Well, here's the thing, Jack. This record, like The World Enslaved, was done, I want to say April was done, and then it was sent off for mixing, right? And then I think around mid-May I got everything final from Juan or Tiago rather, at Trident Studios. And so I mean the album's been done for almost 6 months, man. And like, it's no fault of the labels. This is how the world runs now. Everything's in slow motion. So the earliest release date we could get, and this has to do with the pressing factories and so forth being backed up, right? I think the records get pressed in Slovenia or Bulgaria, perhaps, like the actual wax, the actual pressing.
Yep.
So they have to pre-plan, pre-arrange their pressing, and then they have to correlate their release date with the pressing date, and making sure that everything falls in line with one another. So December 1st was like a conservative date. They'll probably have it in their hands probably by mid-November, I would think.
Yep.
You'll probably start seeing promo next month for the next record for World Enslaved.
Nice.
But the point I'm trying to make is it's been a year since I tracked the last record, like The World Enslaved. I tracked that last July or June.
Yep.
So it's been over a year actually.
Wow.
So So you know what I mean? Like it does seem like very prolific in its pace. Like, holy shit, you got the next one written before this one comes out. But the one that's coming out has been done for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I've spoken to a lot of artists like that have been like, you do talk to them and you go, man, you're so busy. It's like, dude, it's just the way the world is going. We made this ages ago and we've had to sit on it for the last year before we can actually do any promo on this damn thing and let the world know we're bringing it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, and I know what, it's funny because I look at it like this. Remnants of Pain was a complete departure from Fragments of Anger. And the reason for that was it was mostly all new songs except for I think 2 that were left over. So 7 of those 9 tracks had been written since the release of Fragments of Anger. And all the songs on Fragments I'd written my whole life, like from the time I was in high school. You know what I mean? And I had a plethora of shit that just got discarded because I just didn't think it was like, I thought it was like pre-Kill 'Em All. And it's like, you know what I mean? It just didn't have the gusto to stand up to like newer riffs and stuff. So yeah, anyways, what I'm alluding to is Remnants of Pain was a complete departure from Fragments. It was like a new starting point for Wreck-Defy, right? A lot of that had to do with surrounding myself with Greg and Aaron. Like those guys are like apex musicians. It doesn't get much better. And then having Juan come in and be part of it. I mean, I've learned so much from these guys, right? Like, and just everything from business stuff to production stuff. It's been killer working with these guys. And I feel blessed that they give a shit about my songwriting and want to partake. It's really flattering, and it's been a really great experience. You know, if nothing else, it's been a good experience. I've made some good friends and worked with some great musicians. So no regrets, man. If it all ended tomorrow, to be honest with you. But I don't think it will, and I don't think it will end tomorrow because I'm too stubborn. But anyways, and I'm a glutton for punishment. Yeah, shoot me again. I ain't dead yet. So anyway, the Remnants of Pain, I think, Powers That Be, is the obvious follow-up to Remnants of Pain. It's in every way it's not a complete departure. It's a growth from Remnants. The songs still kind of parallel with that. It's just next level. I think with this next batch of songs, so the World Enslaved is like a different chapter. And this next record that I just finished recording is the obvious follow-up to World Enslaved. You'll see what I mean, man. I'll send you some tracks, just drums and guitar tracks when I get them back from Dave. You'll be one of the first to hear them. How's that?
Yeah, man. Well, I won't say too much, but I did really like that track you sent me as well. That Bring It All Down, dude. I know the listeners.
Oh, you like that?
Oh, dude, I'm looking. I was I understood what you were saying before, but I am looking forward to hearing this album. You know, when it drops in for the listeners. I know a lot of my listeners who love thrash metal. I have a lot of thrash metal fans, just mad thrash metal. They're gonna just dig the hell out of this. You know what I mean? It's really, really cool, man.
How's the feedback? How's the feedback been in Australia for Wreck-Defy? What's the buzz
good,
like?
Man. Yeah, good, man. I always rip out.
Is it more of a? Is the buzz more of a mosquito, or is it like, are we reaching the wasp status, the hornet status? What kind of buzz is it?
Yeah, slowly getting there, man. Slowly getting there. I'm ripping it out. You know what I mean? It's hard work. I'm always busy, man, and I always rip out some Wreck-Defy and the thrash, man. We got some great thrash metal, dude, and I'm loving what you guys are really laying down. I'm looking forward to this new album, man. And the album art. Did you go with the same guys last time who done the Powers That Be album?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and he did the artwork for the next one too. Like everything's done for the next record, man.
Yeah, yeah, that looks mint. The cover for this new one, man.
Yeah, the World Enslaved. It's going to be a killer record, man. I'm so stoked for people to hear the new singer, to hear Greg sing.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I don't. People are going to have. There's still people that think fucking Justin's their favorite, like it's so subjective, right? It's in the eye of the beholder, in this case the ear of the beholder. But like I said, Wags isn't a better singer than Aaron, nor is Aaron a better singer than Wags. It's just two different styles of vocals. Aaron is more of I will say Aaron is more of a perfectionist with his layers. There's no doubt about that. I mean, but Aaron has worked on that his whole life. Aaron doesn't listen to thrash metal.
Yeah.
Aaron listens to Fleetwood Mac. Aaron listens to a heavy band for Aaron is like Alice in Chains. That's what Aaron. That's like kind of the heavy Soundgarden, Super Unknown era, Bad Motorfinger. That's Aaron's heavy listening, right? So, and you can hear a little bit of that in the Powers That Be records. There's certain songs that have passages that have that Alice in Chains kind of feel to it, and that's not by mistake. That's completely intentional, right?
Yeah.
Like Scumlord's got a few passages, and there's a few other ones in there. But whereas Wags listens to Journey, and he listens to Wasp, you know, and he listens to Metallica. Like he's more a metal guy, right? He's not as much of a finesse singer as Aaron, but he can do things that Aaron can't do falsetto wise. He can hit notes like Rob Halford and stuff. And I'm not suggesting that that's a deficiency in Aaron's craft. Don't misread what or misunderstand what I'm saying.
Way.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about Aaron, man. Aaron's a fucking brilliant singer, and he's my brother, and I love the guy.
Yeah, and he's busy at the moment. Like if anyone noticed on the Facebook message.
Listen, his solo record is pretty much done. I've heard some of it. It's I shouldn't talk about it, but it has like a new metal sound. I don't know, more kind of like that band that David Draymond from Disturbed did after his band.
Yeah, I had a little of that. I've kind of got the idea of what you're going with.
That song Vilify.
Yep. Yeah, I know
when
that
you
one.
vilify.
Yeah.
So that kind of shit. I can't remember. Device. They're called Device.
Yep.
That's what his stuff reminds me of. It has like an industrial feel, but it's more of a new metal thing, Aaron's stuff. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he can pull it off because the guy can sing anything, and the guy's got wicked vocals. So, and when you listen to an Aaron Randall record, at least for me, it's all about the vocals. I mean, when you listen to Powers That Be, for me, it's all about the vocals. Maybe a few riffs, but
that's it.
But I mean, the vocals are what drive the songs, man. You know, and that's the thing with having a great singer. You got to exploit his abilities, right? The band carries the music, right, as the record. But I mean, the front man, there's so many killer bands out there musically. Like I just can't get into the Cookie Monster vocals, man. And I don't have anything against it. It's not. It's just I don't find it. I find it lackluster. Like to have great musicianship and great lyrics, and then all of a sudden you got a Cookie Monster that comes. I don't know, man. I just and I do probably have. I'll probably be a hypocrite to say, you know, I do listen to like Demolition Hammer. I love that band. Like I listen to that band all the time. We've been lucky to play with those guys, and I love that stuff. And Tenet from Zetro. Tenet, you've heard Tenet? Tenet, he sang for Tenet. Yeah, like that sounds like he sounds like a stuck pig in that. You know what I mean? But I mean, like it's killer. But it's not something I want to play. Like I don't want to, you know, I want to work with singers, right? I want to work with guys that are equally as talented as the drummer and, you know, and the guitar player and the bass player. I want like, you know, just that whole conglomerate of great musicianship all around, including the vocals, right?
Yeah.
So Wags and Wags brings that. He just brings more of a refined approach than Aaron.
Yep.
Aaron's a little more, like I said, he's more creative, more modernized, I guess. Whereas Wags would never want to do anything that even mimicked fucking new metal.
It's cool though, man, to sit back for you and go, look, man, I've worked with these great vocalists and name off some of these vocalists you've worked with so far in your career, and it's just kind of booting off now. You still got plenty of years left in you for Wreck-Defy and Gutter Creek, that's for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good. The next batch of cover tunes, like I say, I got a whole new plethora of guys coming to do some vocals. Soren from X Artillery, Soren Adamson, he's the singer for Gutter Creek. I got him to do the vocals for Heart of Gold. We did a remake of Neil Young's Heart of Gold. We thrashed it up. Dude. And I gotta send that to you actually. I should send it to you when we're done. I haven't released it yet. So. Man, it's like every guy brings their A game to these songs. Like another reason I kind of omitted this one on purpose was after Soren, like after listening to it, I said to Derek, and Derek had no part of these covers, right? Derek Kroll, drummer from Gutter Creek. And I said, you know, I got to send you this, man. And I said, look, I know you're not playing on it. Like, I know it's Dave, my Wreck-Defy drummer. I said, but I really think we should consider releasing this as a bonus track on the Gutter Creek album. Just because, you know,
it fits the mood. It's got kind of
It's
like
the
that
band.
stoner feel. And Derek's, he's like, took it like a champ. He's like, no, like super humble, right? He's like, yeah, man, fuck yeah, let's throw it on the record. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, because I don't care if I didn't drum on it. Throw it on the record as a bonus track. So that's good. You know, that's another thing. Working with grounded people. Like every guy I've worked with has been cool that way. I've had no problems with dealing with guys with like super egos or rock star mentalities. None of these guys, man.
Yeah.
Like Dave White from Heathen there. Like Dave's been one of my favorite singers since I was like 15 years old, you know? And when I asked Dave to do I actually reached out to Dave and asked him, I said, "Did you mind doing a cover song? Blah, blah, blah." And he knew who I was with the parallels with Craig, right? Because Craig is the guitar player. And Craig, and you know, under his label has basically been boarding Wreck-Defy for a long time. Kind of took us under his wing a little bit. He's got a handful of bands like Toxic. Remember Toxic? Yeah.
Yep.
And then
I got to interview Craig last year, I think it was as well.
Yeah, he's a super great guy.
He is
super
really cool.
Guy, yeah. And he gives a shit about like artists like myself, because he appreciates what it takes, like financially, and the commitment you got to put into this. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. I'm the same on the media game, man. We don't get nothing out of this.
Yeah, man, it's all about passion, right? It's the love of music. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. Why do you do this? I don't know. Because I'm a shitty golfer. I don't know.
It's just,
hopefully I'm a better guitar player than I am a golfer. Yeah.
That's why I draw comparisons in, like with what you guys do and what I'm doing, because I do this for the love of it as well. I don't make any money, man. I just do it purely for the music scene and trying to grow this community that I really, really love.
Yeah, man, you're doing a good job too, buddy. Yeah, you're doing a good job. Stick with it. So what I was going to say about Dave, before I forget, is I asked Dave originally, I said, "Hey, would you mind doing a cover version of Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot?" I don't know if you know that song. It's like a folk song. You know that song?
Oh, man.
You know that?
Yeah. I've heard it. I think I've heard a little bit of it, man.
So he did it. Yep. He did that song. And then I had someone doing Little Bones, and then they backed out on me. I'm not even going to mention who it was because it's like it never materialized. So what's the point? But it was like in the 11th hour, somebody backed out, and I had the music, and I was like, fuck. So I'm like, whose voice would fit that? And I'm listening, and I'm like, I know I already picked Dave to do that track, but I'm like, his voice would really do that song justice, I thought. I just could hear in my head, I could hear Dave's voice, you know? And maybe it's because all I fucking listen to is the new Heathen record these days. But anyway, I was like, I can hear his voice in there, especially that song, Shroud of Apathy.
Yeah.
Off the new Heathen record.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the best song in 2020, I think. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to ask Dave. So I reached in. Dave, I'm not paying Dave to do this. Like, Dave's doing this because he's just a cool guy, man. He's just a really good guy. And I reached out to him. I said, Dave, do you know who the Tragically Hip are? And he's like, I sure do. Because the guy before him, I'm like, you want to do a Tragically Hip song? Tragically who? Tragically Hip. Who's that? I was Canadian. I've heard of them. I'm like, send me the song. I'll listen to it. I'm like, all right. And he was going to do it. And like I said, for whatever reason, he bailed out. And so I called Dave, and Dave's like, yeah, I love that. That's good. That's good stuff. So he said, well, I'll do it. Whatever the date was. He says, I'm going to be in San Francisco area visiting family. Dave lives in Florida now, right? He doesn't live in California anymore. Yep. Yeah. So he was up visiting family there, and he swung by Juan's studio, banged off the song, and yeah, it's fucking killer, man. Little Bones is amazing.
It came out really well. I hadn't heard, as I said, I hadn't heard of the Tragically Hip, so I listened to that cover version you done. Then I went and played the Tragically Hip track. Then I went back and played the cover version again. Just there we go.
Yeah. Well, I you like I said, you rectify it a little bit, right? You change it a little bit. The idea behind those songs, that some of the departures from the original, especially like Everybody's Working for the Weekend, that one. Run to You is a little more streamlined with the original. There's that thrash breakdown in the chorus just to give it that double bass kind of flutter pattern there. But otherwise, like Geoff Thorpe saying that, pretty much similar to how Bryan Adams did.
Yeah.
By the way, Geoff Thorpe did an amazing job on that.
Yeah.
All these covers. Yeah. I'm so
Vicious Rumours.
Yes, Vicious Rumours. New record's killer. Celebration Decay. Yeah, plug out for those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Did you have like the next one? Is that all the next covers album? Is that going to be Canadian artists as well?
Yeah. Well, it's another EP.
Yep.
Yeah, just an EP. It's not an outlet. Yeah. So
EP, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be 3 EPs, and then once the third one gets dropped, then everything will get compiled on one release, like a physical, tangible vinyl/CD. Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, the concept behind these songs is just like to have fun with shit. And you remember like when Children of Bottom did one?
Yeah.
And they did like fucking Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More. Yeah. And I thought, that's kind of where the motivation was, to like pick really obscure stuff like the Lover Boy and, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Shit that hasn't been covered a million times.
Yeah, but then turn them into thrash songs too, not just cover them. Like Born to Be Wild. I found out later looking on YouTube that's been covered a lot, even by some reputable bands like The Cult. The Cult did a cover. Ours is way better.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Definitely.
I'm just kidding. That's a subjective thing, right? No, but we did it. We made it a thrash version, right? You know what I mean? It's so like, yeah. I mean, you have to enjoy the songs. You couldn't just cover them for sake of covering them. Like if we ever played them live, it would be fun to play. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Speaking of playing live, how is it looking over there for playing live? Pretty shitty.
Yeah, man, it's pretty dismal.
Yeah,
I don't think there's going to be much going on. I don't think so, man.
Yeah,
there's really nothing. If you look at all the itineraries that have been posted as of recent for North American tours, Canada's been left off the list, right?
Yeah,
I think there's been a couple dates. I've seen some dates pop up for like Quebec or Montreal, but it's in Quebec, right?
Yeah.
Quebec, I mean, those guys, that's their own thing there. God bless those guys there. So I mean, maybe they'll have something going on. Like they have some rabid fans in Quebec, right? Some really killer metalheads there.
Yeah.
In fact, that's probably one of the strongholds of Canada for metal, is Quebec. So it doesn't strike me as strange actually that there'd be some shows, but those are the only fucking shows, man. Like Canada's a big country.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Vancouver, nothing in Winnipeg, Calgary, Regina. There's no shows.
Yeah,
I'm talking big bands. I'm not talking
same here in Australia. Same here in Australia. We've got nothing happening.
I'm talking like, for example, like the Megadeth and Lamb of God tour.
Yep.
That's going on right now. Yeah, like no Canadian dates. Like it's bizarre, because I can tell you right now, they're starving for shows here.
Yeah, it's the same
here. The government restrictions are such that it's near impossible for people to go to these fucking shows, man. Like it's really difficult. These bands coming in from another country, like we're breathing the same air as the Americans, man. I'm literally a half hour's drive to the United States here,
Yeah.
Like if there's any fucking crazy viruses in the air right now, we're breathing the same shit they're breathing in Minnesota. So that's just the fact. We share a border, right?
Yeah, man. It's I'm really waiting for
the restrictions are, again, they're too restricting.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping next year, because like I'm pretty well fucking kissing this year goodbye for live music, and hoping next year things start getting going again. It just does my head in a little bit sometimes when I see all these shows getting cancelled. Then we got these big sporting events going ahead, but we can't have live music. But so that kind of does my head in a little bit, and I'm really looking forward to live music getting off and going again. But that makes it even more important for people to get along. And you know what I mean? It is great, as we're saying, to listen to bands on Spotify, but buying albums at the moment, if you really want to support your community, support your scene, and support the bands you love like Wreck-Defy, get along and buy their albums and buy what they're dropping, their merch and everything as well, because that's the only way we're really going to keep this community going, because I love the metal community, and the scene we have is unreal.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I appreciate the plug. And while you're at it, buy one for your neighbor too.
That's it. Yeah, put it in the street. Neighbors are going to love it. Matt, this has been an absolute pleasure, man, catching up and having a chat. Everyone, you got to grab that. We got you covered EP that dropped out August 27th. Heap of merch. They've also got the new album coming out, The World Enslaved, through Gator Records, Sub-Level Records. Get along and buy all their other albums as well. Matt, do you have any last words, shout outs, or thank yous you'd like to add in, my friend?
Gutter Creek, hey, 2022.
There we go.
And And I want to thank you, and thanks to any of your fans that check you out, and thanks to our fans that check us out, and thanks to all the metal fans that check out and support any artist of their choosing, because like I said once before, it's such a small community, this metal community. It's truly is a united we stand, divided we fall approach to things, guys. So I mean, we all support one another, and we all continue to move forward, onwards and upwards with this shit. So thanks for having me on your show, Jai. I appreciate it, brother.
Awesome. Cheers, bro. Thank you very much.
G'day. Before we get stuck into this great interview, if you all could hit the like and subscribe button, that would be bloody awesome, and it'd mean you all keep up to date with all the great interviews brought to you by myself, crank.com, and thatmetalstation.com, the only station with more metal than your Mars kettle. Cheers, guys.